Hey, Mean Matt here. Hey, Mean Matt here. Hey, Mean Matt here. Hey, Mean Matt. Yep. So, just finished watching Bash at the Beach, All Elite Wrestling. Actually, it was on Wednesday, and I thought that for some reason, Bash at the Beach was going to be a pay-per-view, but that's not the case. It actually aired on television, so yeah. Oh my god, this was probably one of the best episodes of All Elite that I've ever really seen. And some of you may agree, some of you may not. But holy shit, man. I mean, and I know a lot of you guys in the wrestling community don't really want to like the high flying stuff. I'm all for anything. Like, I love the high flying stuff as much as I love the ground and pound or whatever. But I just think that this show was definitely one of the best episodes of AEW Dynamite so far. So we have the 4-way tag team match, which obviously was really cool. You have Elite versus the Young Bucks versus Santino and Ortiz versus Best Friends. And yeah, this was awesome. You have Santana and Ortiz pay tribute to Eddie Guerrero by Santana doing the Three Amigos, and of course you have Ortiz doing this thingy. You had the Young Bucks, who obviously flew out of the ring onto the opponents. Obviously it was expected in this match. You had all four guys do the suplex attempt, the chain suplex, if you will, and that was pretty cool. I didn't know if Kenny and Adam were going to coexist in this match. They keep hinting at an Adam Page heel turn, but I'm not quite sure what's going on. They obviously did a good job at being a tag team, so the Elite won, so we'll see what happens in the near future. I mean, they were still a pretty good unit, and you had backstage interview with SCU, who they were going to be facing in the near future. I believe it's going to be the next pay-per-view, so that's going to be pretty fucking cool. And you had Adam Page as the hothead and Kenny trying to calm him down. So yeah, Kenny is basically the guy that likes to shake people's hands. Even had Orange Cassidy take part in the match, but I mean, he always seems to do that. So, and then we had a tag team match for the women. You had Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander, who I called Andromeda in the last AEW review I did. And they defeated the Nightmare Collective, Brandy Rhodes, and Mel, the punk rock chick. And of course you had this Luther as the manager, so that was pretty interesting. I think that as much as Brandy is a great manager as well, she's definitely still a very good wrestler. And the fucking kick that she took from Statlander. Holy shit. But, you know, this was awesome, and Statlander and Sheeta won. So, I can't wait to see what more of these two can do in the future. But, yeah, I mean, Nightmare Collective is definitely one of the more, I guess, quote unquote, creepy stables or take teams. You had Jon Moxley versus Sammy Guevara. What's very cool about Sammy is that because AEW has this thing where they go to commercial, they minimize the screen, so they show the commercial, but you can still see the action that's going on. So that's interesting in a way, but it can be kind of annoying because, like myself, I'm easily distracted, so you try. But Sammy gets in the ring, and this is the second time that he pulls a Bob Dylan thing, and he's got like cue cards, and he's, you know, throwing them away and saying some words and shit, so that was pretty cool. This match was also very good, and Sammy starts right away trying to get at John. Moxley, obviously, one of the best, in my opinion, in AEW compared to what he did last week. It was, you know, he's always impressive. So, I just heard that move too. What the hell's it called? Anyways, he tried to do that on the outside, and there was a couple attempts at it, but there was a lot of really good close calls in there. And I mean, yeah, Sammy's definitely one of those guys that is young, and he's still, I guess, paying his dues or whatever, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, Moxley made him submit and wins the match, and the lights go out. And here comes the Inner Circle in the ring, and they beat Jon Moxley up, and you have Chris Jericho with his spike jacket, and he takes his jacket off, and he unhooks one of the spikes, and you have Ortiz and Santana holding Moxley, and you think, okay, where is this going? And Chris Jericho has the spike, and yeah, he basically drove it in Moxley's eye. Now, I'm not sure how sharp it was. I didn't see any blood, but it was intense, obviously, and there was this one medic, and I had thought maybe that was Daniels. It looked like Daniels, but I guess it wasn't. So they tend to Moxley. They go to commercial again, obviously bringing him to the back. So, I mean, it was still a really good match. You had the 6-man take team match. A lot of fucking take teams in this show. MJF and the Buffalo Boys taking on Diamond Dallas Page, Cody Rhodes, and QT Marshall. And I think QT Marshall really got some good offense in there. Obviously, Dustin really is good for his age as well. And, you know, speaking of which, you know, because he's 50, you have a guy like Diamond Dallas Page who's like 63. And holy shit, that's like the youth. I mean, that yoga definitely helps, but he did a bunch of cutters to the Butcher and the Blade, and then of course MJF. This was awesome, and of course MJF gets the pin, and their team wins, which was, you know, interesting. You know, it's kind of, we'll see where this goes, and they seem to be aligned with each other. Now before that, you had Cody coming out and basically accepting the challenge of MJF, and there was a bunch like 3 rolls, and we'll see where this goes. But yeah, basically doing what MJF did last week. We had the main event with Darby Allin versus Pac, and of course Pac doing what he did in WWE when he was heel Neville and just running to the ropes but not getting on the top. This was pretty cool. I really enjoyed this match. There was a lot of good risks, including Darby Allin jumping or diving out of the fucking ring and doing the coffin. Well, it was like the coffin drop, but it was through the ropes onto Neville, and that was fucking insane. But yeah, it's basically Pac who won the match. So this was a really good show, and again, I thought maybe this was going to be a pay-per-view, but it wasn't. Bash at the Beach, AEW, and I can't wait to see what they do next. And so, yeah, this basic review. I didn't talk about everything, but it was a hell of a show, and I hope everyone else felt the same way. Anyways, talk to you later. Bye.